you who are begrudgingly joining this call, I want to tell you that it could be worse. You could be taking the bar exam right now as we speak. I do want to apologize for my jacket. I realize that plaid is creating a dizzying effect, so maybe I should have worn a different jacket. But welcome to everybody. I'm somewhat excited about where we are in our next order that has been sent out to you guys in advance. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at it. We'll talk about that some. I do want to remind everybody to mute your phones. I think we have one call that's unmuted right now, getting some background noise there. Also, remember that these calls are being recorded and they're open to the public. We may or may not have media.
Chief, I think you went muted.
I don't know how that happened, but Ms. Clanton, will you take us through the roll call, please?
Happy to do it, Chief. Presiding Justice Namias.
I'm here.
Chief Judge McFadden.
Here.
Did Vice Chief Rickman join us? I think he had a conflict. Judge Walter Davis.
Here.
President Brian Amaro.
Here.
President-elect Wade Padgett.
I'm here.
Great. Judge Kite, we know, is here.
Here, thank you.
Judge Melanie Cross. Judge Sizemore.
I'm here, thank you.
Chief Judge Asha Jackson.
I'm here.
Chief Judge Chris Brasher.
Here.
Judge Fletcher Sands.
I'm here.
Judge Van Pelt.
I'm here.
Chief Judge Sarah Wall.
Here.
Thank you, Judge. Chief Judge Bagley.
Here.
Judge Jim Blanchard. President Wes Taylor.
I'm here.
President-elect Al Wong.
Here.
President Lisa Jones.
I'm here.
President-elect Greg Price.
Present.
President Kelly Wolf.
I am here.
President-elect Carrie Carter.
I'm here.
President TJ Hudson.
I'm here. Go Dogs, Chief Justice.
Uh-oh. Judge Quinn Casper. Judge Casper, are you with us today? President Willie Weaver.
Present.
President-elect Lori Duff.
Present.
And President of the State Bar, Don Jones.
Here.
Thank you. Chief, that completes the roll.
Thank you. And while I'm apologizing, I do have to apologize for my Tigers not giving UGA a better fight than that. And by the way, if that's your third string quarterback, I hate to see your first and second. Congratulations to my Bulldog brethren. The minutes have been from the last meeting have been circulated. Is there anybody who would move to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Judge Brasher. Who seconded?
PJ.
PJ seconds. Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Those will stand approved. Of course, the highlight of this meeting is our 7th order extending the declaration of emergency for the judiciary. The highlights that you will see in the draft that's been circulated to you are that, of course, we've already previously opened up the grand jury proceedings at the discretion of the jurisdictions, local jurisdictions. At some point, probably in the next order, we'll remove that language that refers to the discretion, just have open grand juries. And pursuant to the local committee planning process, hopefully everybody is continuing to work hard to get those jury plans up and running. In this order, as you see, we do remove the suspension of jury trials effective immediately upon the execution of the order. That order will be entered on Saturday, September 10th, this coming Saturday. So that will remove the suspension of the jury trials. I do want to ask that even as we do that, continue to utilize the tools that we have available to move jury cases, not jury cases, but move cases via remote technology wherever possible. Don't want to forget those tools that are there. We'll continue to maintain the hold on statutory speedy trial demands for the foreseeable future. And so continue to be mindful of that. On the grand jury side, we've asked the Superior Court judges to kind of give us a breakdown on how that's looking in terms of which courts are moving forward and how far along we are. When we go around to the judges in charge report, Shannon will give an update on behalf of the Superior Court Council on that. And I do thank Shannon and Emily for their work in that regard. Are there any questions about the order that we've circulated out to you? Any comments or any feedback? If you come up with anything we need to think about when we go around, please feel free to share as well. I do ask as you go about the process of opening up your jury trial proceedings, and even as you go about your process of your grand jury proceedings, if you stumble upon solutions that we may have thought about, may not have thought about, or that you think might be helpful to the body, do ask that you share your experiences with the task force. We do want to learn from things that go right. We also want to learn from things that go bad. So please be generous in sharing your experiences, both good and bad, with us so we can all have the benefit of it. The last thing I will mention to you is that we are moving forward on the public service announcements. That's moving along nicely. I know there's a taping that will take place on Thursday. And so we're moving towards production pretty quickly there. I think that's all I have. PJ, you have anything you want to add to anything I've said so far?
No, I think you covered it. I think you said the order would be signed on September 10th.
Excuse me.
October 10th. Yeah.
October 10th. Thank you. October 10th. Okay, with that, let's go around the table. Judge McFadden, Court of Appeals.
Nothing to report.
Judge Walt Davis.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Judge Amaro.
Yes, Chief. Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Shannon Weathers, who's the Executive Director of the Council of Superior Court Judges, who's engaged in the process of collecting some of the information you recently requested about exercising discretion to resume grand juries by the Chief Judges. And so, Shannon.
Thank you,
Shannon, are you on the call?
I am. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. As Judge Amaro stated, the Chief Justice contacted Judge Amaro last week and inquired as to the status and to the timing of the resumption of grand jury proceedings in our superior courts. The overall trend is that most circuits are resuming grand jury proceedings in mid-October to November. The specific details outlining their plans to proceed vary greatly depending on the capacity of the courthouses, the number of the counties in the circuit, and other factors. But overall, the general trend is to resume within that time frame. Some will start again in 2021. Some of our judges expressed their gratitude to you, Chief, for the discretion given to local courts in determining the logistics which best suit them in terms of when and how to proceed with these proceedings. I want to thank our 10 district court administrators for obtaining the information, the chief judges that supplied it, and of course, Emily Youngo with our office for pulling it all together. In less than 48 hours, we received responses from a majority of our circuits, 38 out of the 49, and then over the weekend, we received 3 more. Chief, we will continue to update this information as we receive more responses. And if you have additional questions regarding the resumption of grand jury proceedings in our court, please feel free to contact me directly. And if I don't have the answer, I'll get it for you.
Thank you, Shannon, and thank you, Judge Amaro, and Shannon. Your compliments to Emily are greatly appreciated. They're highly appropriate. And I'm just excited about how the judges across the state have taken on the planning process. We've seen the reports as they're coming in. They're all very thorough, very thoughtful. I'm excited about going forward. I sense there's an energy about, getting freed up to do what we all want to do. So thank you all. I do know that Judge McClellan is available to give us an update on the task force. So let me break ranks a little bit and ask Judge McClellan if he can give us an update on what the task force is up to.
Thank you, Chief Justice. I think we're just all moving along in continuing our committees. I think the group is ready to continue meeting as long as we're able to address the issues that come up in the task force. I think, as you mentioned, the PSA committee is doing very well. The technology committee, I think Judge Leonard is on the call if he has any specific updates that he may want to share about that group. And civil and criminal committees are still meeting and looking at things beyond what was in the last guidance that the Supreme Court issued. And one of the things that we've been working on as the civil committee is some guidance for judges and lawyers to use in trying to resolve discovery disputes before filing motions to compel. And we're getting a lot of good feedback from the bar and from judges as to how to streamline that process and take some of those things off the workload of judges as we come out of and try to work on the backlog, and is to present those things to a judge in a way that can be resolved without having 3 and 4 hour motion hearings on discovery issues. Happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
I have a quick question, Chief Justice, if you don't mind.
Sure.
My question relates to remote grand jury guidance. I'm trying to get a sense for when we might expect that. Here in Henry County, we are looking at a hybrid of in-person and virtual, and we want to be sure that we're not doing anything that would be inconsistent with any guidance that may be coming out relatively soon. Can you give us, Judge McClellan, some sort of an idea as to when we might anticipate seeing that sort of guidance?
I think all that's been submitted to the Supreme Court.
Yes, that's correct. So it's off their plate. It's on our plate.
Okay, I apologize.
So we have been taking a hard dive into that. We're adding a lot of thoughts. The work of the task force has prompted our thinking process, and we've kind of been digging even layers deeper than what they were looking at. And so we're doing a substantial deep dive into that. So I think the target that we have is the 10th. I will check to make sure that we're on pace, but the last I heard, we were trying to get something out right around the time our next order is issued.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Justice Melton, this is Judge Asha Jackson. Quick question. Have you given any thought to how long you intend to hold on statutory speedy trials just for planning purposes?
We have given a lot of thought to that, and the answer is we don't know. We do think there will be a substantial time period. We do think that's likely to be the last thing to be included in our judicial emergency orders going forward. There has been some talk, you may have read, about having some legislation to extend that in a fixed kind of way. There are a lot of different ideas about how to do that, but that's something that we are actively looking at right now. We do realize that that's an issue that needs to be dealt with. And at some point, there's probably going to be some data that's going to need to drive our analysis that will have to factor in the depth of the backlog and what type of clearance rates we have, and benchmark that maybe to what the pre-existing caseload may have been.
Chief Justice, if I can follow up, I know Judge LaGrua wanted us to also funnel to her any statutory things provisions that we need to address that have arisen during the emergency. So I think that is one of the ones that we have been talking about. So if anybody has any, other than going through the normal channels, I think the task force is also trying to keep track of this pandemic specific matters that need to be addressed and at the next session.
All right. Any other questions? All right, moving on to state court judges. Judge Taylor.
Thank you, Chief Justice Melton. The only things I have to announce are that the State Court Fall Conference is going forward next week virtually. So we're all halfway looking forward to that, I suppose. We would certainly like to be together, but this is going to be a good conference nonetheless. And also just following up on, I think I reported about a misdemeanor mental health competency evaluation ad hoc committee. That committee has met with representatives from DBHDD. We are moving forward and we're looking forward to continuing to make some good progress there. Don't have anything to actually report on that yet, except for that we are moving along.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Judge Jones with the juvenile court.
No report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Walt, probate.
Unfortunately, yet again, I am reporting that Judge Batten in Brantley County is currently suffering with COVID. She is on a ventilator. Her husband is also suffering from COVID and is in ICU. I'm not sure if he's on a ventilator, but our last report was that he was in a separate hospital, also suffering. So we would ask for your prayers for both of them and their family and those in the office. Other than that, no report.
Okay, you said Judge Bradley in what county?
Judge Batten in Brantley County.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Judge Hudson, Magistrate Court judges.
Nothing to report, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Judge Weaver, Municipal.
Our council completed its strategic planning meeting on September the 24th, 25th, and 30th. We'll be sending the report out to the executive committee this week for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. President Jones, State Bar.
Yes, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. Very briefly, your State Bar continues to work remotely. To that end, I refer you to our State Bar website where you can find offerings for ICLE live streaming. We've started recording ICLE and offering new, fresh presentations. With regard to our Seeking Equal Justice and Addressing Racism and Racial Bias Committee, we held our first courageous conversations between members of our bar and the Daily Report. And it was very interesting. It was on September 30th. There will be a replay. Very interesting. We are looking forward to our first official Board of Governors meeting of the year virtually. And hopefully you will see with this meeting going forward, our efforts to provide a fully functioning, broad, hopefully feeling something like normal, conference surrounding the Board of Governors meetings that we have planned. Lastly, many of you participated in the survey as Board of Governors members or as guests or judges who received, or justices who received that survey. Thank you so much. It's very helpful to know what concerns people have, and it really cemented for me the information needed as we look forward to hopefully planning a hybrid. The goal is a hybrid meeting, assuming COVID stats allow, Georgia Public Health allows, and CDC guidelines allow us to meet in person. We're tentatively planning for the winter meeting in January at Georgia State Law School to be a hybrid so that you can attend virtually and in person, and you'll get more information about that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Let's hear from the Council of Accountability Court judges. Is Judge Gosselin or Ms. Jones there?
I think we're both on. The only report I have is that we have a new website, and if Taylor wants to jump on and tell you just a sentence about that, she.
Sure. Thank you, Judge Gosselin. Good afternoon. CACJ does in fact have a new website as of October the 1st, and that website is cacj.georgia.gov. Please visit us there to learn about accountability court news and updates that we may have. Thank you.
All right, and apparently I skipped the AOC, Ms. Clanton.
That's all right, Chief. So today's meeting marks the 21st Judicial Council Emergency Session. I want to thank all of you for your time and your engagement. The AOC remains fully functional and ready to help. Let me know how we can serve you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Clanton. Tracy Johnson with the Commission on Dispute Resolution.
We have nothing to report. Thank you, though.
All right. Madam Clerk Tina Robinson, Mr. Holloman, clerks.
Mr. Holloman today. Ms. Robinson had another engagement, but we have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Greer, Commission on Professionalism.
Hi, good afternoon, Chief Justice. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, great. 3 quick updates. The commission does remain fully functional. Our next CLE will be on October 23rd in conjunction with the State Bar of Georgia's fall meeting. And once the State Bar opens registration for that, I'll begin advertising the CLE. The premise is what lawyers need to know about judicial professionalism. Justice Boggs and Chuck Boring will be 2 of our presenters, and it will be moderated by Commission member Audra Seymour. Audra does a lot of work for the commission behind the scenes, so I'm glad to have her out front for a little bit for this program. Information about the program is already on the commission's website, and so please look for that if you're interested in learning more. I want to welcome Judge Shondina Cruz Morris to the commission. Her term recently began. She is the new designee for the Council of Superior Court Judges, and we look forward to welcoming her and working with her. Our grant application is open. The information is on the Commission's website, www.cjcpga.org. Grant applications will close on October 19th in 2 weeks, and the Commission will then at a November meeting take up recommendations by the Grants Committee. I want to thank Judge Susan Etline, who has been the chair of that committee and worked very hard over the summer leading that committee and getting us to this point, and so I want to publicly acknowledge her work. The commission will next meet on October 9th. I'm getting ready for that, and that is our report for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Greer. Stephanie Hines with the Council of Court Administrators.
Good afternoon, Chief Justice. I do want to mention briefly that GCCA Virtual Education Program and Annual Business Meeting will be held tomorrow, beginning at 8:45. Our theme is COVID-19, Navigating the Pandemic. There will be a roundtable discussion actually comprised of some of the members from the COVID-19 task force. Specifically, we have Judge LaGrua, Judge Wes Taylor, Judge Sutton, and Judge Bubba Samuels participating in the morning session. The conference is free to attend, but registration is required. So if any judges or their staff would like to attend, we encourage anyone to do so. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. All right, Mr. Ashworth with ICJE.
Nothing to report, Chief Justice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Boring, JQC.
Good afternoon, Chief Justice. Nothing new to report.
All righty. So thank you all. That's everything. The only other question is our next meeting. We have it currently set for October. We have to move it to Tuesday because I think Monday is a holiday. Tuesday, October 13. We will have just issued the order, so I'm not thinking we need to meet then, unless you think of something that would cause for us to come together. So let's plan on Monday, October 19th for our next meeting, Monday, October 19th. And that's all I have for everybody. Y'all continue to stay safe. And again, can't thank you enough for making our courts what they are during this difficult time. Thank you so much.